Hi, welcome back to Pattycakes. Today we'll be filming part 2, the Coca-Cola cake. And a fun fact about the Coca-Cola cake is Coca-Cola is headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. So this makes the cake a southern cake. Okay. So now we are going to start making the cake. We're going to preheat the oven to 350. In the bowl, I'm going to sift the flour, 2 cups, and the sugar, 2 cups. I don't think the sugar is sifting very well. Okay, that's enough sifting the flour. Okay, and sugar. Okay, so we're going to add the marshmallows, mini marshmallows, 1.5 cups. And we're going to stir that up. Okay, we're going to set this aside. In the saucepan, I'm going to add a stick of butter, and I'm using salted butter. I'm putting in a 1/2 cup of canola oil. I'm also putting in 3 tablespoons of the unsweetened cocoa that we used yesterday. And as I said yesterday, it is a non-GMO cocoa imported from Holland. And as I am pro-GMO, I just like to say that we've been doing plant breeding for 8,000 to 10,000 years. And 17 years ago, the FDA said there's no inherent danger from using GMOs. Okay, so now we're going to put the cocoa in. Then, of course, it's a Coca-Cola cake, so we're going to add 1 cup of Coca-Cola, and I want it to be carbonated. The carbonated cola should give the cake and frosting a tender texture. Okay, now we're going to go over to the stove. And turn the heat on medium. And as this is heating up, I'm just going to give you a little information about low barometric pressure, which you get when storms are coming or at high altitudes. It plays a role in baking, and you need to change up your ingredients by adding liquids. And the low barometric pressure causes the dough to rise faster. Just a little bit of information. Okay, so we're going to let this heat up, and we're going to have it come to a boil. Okay, the mixture has come to a boil. I'm going to set it down over here, and before I add it, I'm going to take a teaspoon of the baking soda and add it to my buttermilk. And I'll just give that a little bit of a stir so it dissolves. Now, I did buy the quart of buttermilk. You can save some money by making your own buttermilk. You can make it from scratch from adding a half a tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice to a half a cup of milk. The buttermilk also contributes to the cake's tenderness. Kefir is a good substitute for buttermilk, and it contains less lactose for the intolerant crowd. Now I know when you buy this, you only use a half a cup of it, and then what do you do with the rest of it? Okay, so here's an idea. You can freeze it in ice cubes and then thaw it at room temperature for the next recipe, instead of, you know, chug, chug, chug down the drain. Okay, so we're going to we dissolve this, and we're going to add this to our mixture, and I made a little hole in the middle, and I'm going to pour that in the middle, in the little valley. Now I'm going to add my wet ingredients and that I boiled over medium heat. You should never cook anything on high heat because it ruins your pans. I've ruined a lot of pans doing that. And I really like these silicone spatulas because they're heat stabilizers. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in the middle, and we're going to stir this up. Now, hopefully when I bake this, the marshmallows will float to the top. It'll give it a chewy brownie-like crust. The more marshmallows you use, the more chewier the crust will be. And we need to mix this well. I've already sprayed my 9 by 13 inch pan, and I'm going to bake it for 35 to 45 minutes. Okay. Okay, I just want to mention that instead of the Coca-Cola, you can use water as a substitute, and then it'll be called a Texas sheet cake. Okay, our mixture is done. I'm going to pour it into the pan. Okay, so I messed up a little bit here, and I forgot to put the eggs and the vanilla in, so I'm going to have to empty the cake pan, rinse it out. Okay, so we're back. It was just a minor inconvenience. We're going to add the eggs now. And then the teaspoon of vanilla, organic. And we're going to mix this up. Okay, now we're going to pour it in the well-greased 9 by 13 pan. Okay, I'm gonna just try and move these marshmallows around a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna put it in the oven. We're going to wait 35 to 40 minutes. Hi. So now, while the cake is baking, we're going to make the frosting. We're going to combine a half cup of butter, it's salted butter. And 3 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa. And 6 tablespoons of Coca-Cola. We're going to take it over to the stove and cook it on medium heat. And we're going to bring it to a boil. Okay, our wet mixture has come to a boil. I'm going to bring it over here. And we're going to pour it over 1 16-ounce box of confectionery sugar. Now I just want to mention that I'm going to be putting pecans in the frosting, but you can substitute it with walnuts or almonds. Being a southern cake, I kept with the tradition of making it with pecans. Okay, so now I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and I think there's 1 cup of chopped pecans. And it's very important to put the frosting on while the cake is still hot. Smells good. Yummy. Okay, the frosting is ready. Now we're just going to wait. Welcome back. We've taken the cake out of the oven. I baked it probably around 40 minutes. The recipe calls for 35 to 45 minutes. I was in the middle. So now we're going to frost the cake, and it's important to frost it while the cake is still hot. It'll make the frosting spread easier. And I just want to say that I toasted the pecans at 350 degrees for 6 to 8 minutes. And it should give it a caramel flavor. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Okay, when I analyzed the cake after I took it out of the oven, it looked like it was very aerated, and that's probably from the carbonated cola. one of the reasons for the cake's soft and tender texture is that the fat is in liquid form. Looks like that's melting just fine. I can't wait to taste it. I'm going to let the cake set overnight so the flavors mingle and the sweetness softens, and the taste testers will let me know how I did tomorrow. Thank you.